In the heart of the ancient Nigerian village of Oke-Ile, the people lived by age-old customs and revered the ancestors. For generations, the village had been divided between two powerful and influential families, the Adebayos and the Onifades. No one could remember exactly how or why the feud began, but everyone knew it was fierce and unyielding. Both families held influence in the village council, and their rivalry was a quiet war that everyone pretended not to see, but all felt its presence. The Adebayos were known for their wealth and deep connection to the village's spiritual traditions. They held the position of the village's chief priests, the sacred keepers of the ancestral shrine. The Onifades, on the other hand, were warriors by blood, once the defenders of Oke-Ile, who had now become wealthy traders, controlling most of the village's economy. The bad blood between them had simmered for decades, and the villagers knew it would only take a spark to ignite it. That spark came in the form of Ayo Adebayo, the first daughter of the Adebayo family, and Tunde Onifade, the fiery son of the Onifad clan. Ayo was not like other girls in the village. She had a spirit that defied the old ways, a restlessness that made her question the roles imposed upon her by tradition. She was beautiful, smart, and had inherited her father's deep connection with the spiritual realm. However, despite all this, she felt caged in her life, bound by expectations she did not choose. Tunde, the Onifade heir, was the pride of his family, brave, determined, and dangerously charming. With his piercing gaze and confident swagger, Tunde was a young man who had the world at his feet. He knew how much power his family held, and he used it to his advantage, except when it came to one thing: the invisible walls that divided the Adebayos and the Onifades. The first time Ayo and Tunde crossed paths was under mysterious circumstances. It was during the annual Egungun festival, when the masked ancestors of the village would dance through the streets at night. During the festival, was said that the boundaries between the world of the living and the dead blurred. The masked figures roamed the village, and everyone stayed indoors, out of respect and fear of the spirits. But that year, Ayo had ventured out at night, drawn by something she couldn't explain, a whisper in her dreams, an urge to escape the oppressive world of the Adebayos. She found herself by the village stream, the moonlight casting eerie shadows on the water. Suddenly, a figure appeared, Tunde. He too had felt drawn to the stream, inexplicably compelled to break the rules of the festival. Their eyes met, and there was an immediate magnetic connection. It was as if the spirits themselves had led them there. They spoke cautiously at first, aware of the danger that even being seen together would cause. But there was something deeper at play, something neither could resist. From that night on, Ayo and Tunde met in secret, always by the stream, always under the cover of darkness. Their love blossomed in the shadows, and they shared dreams of running away, leaving behind the suffocating weight of their family's feud. But their love was doomed from the start. One night, during a particularly tense village council meeting, where disputes over land and trade boiled over, whispers began to spread that something was wrong between the two families, more than the usual animosity. There had been sightings. Villagers claimed they had seen Tunde and Ayo together, in places where they shouldn't have been. The village was alive with gossip, and soon One of Ayo's cousins, a jealous girl named Funmi, who had always envied her beauty and spirit, confronted her. Funmi had seen Ayo and Tunde embraced by the stream and demanded that she end the affair or face the wrath of both families. But Ayo refused. Love, she believed, was worth more than tradition. She and Tunde made plans to run away, to escape the village and start a new life in the city, far from the restrictions of Oke-Ile. But on the night they were set to leave, everything unraveled. Ayo's father, Baba Adebayo, had been warned by a vision from the ancestors. He had seen in his dreams a snake coiled around his daughter's heart, a sign of treachery. Consulting with the village's high priest, he learned the truth. Ayo's love for Tunde would bring ruin to both families. In a rage, he ordered a group of family warriors to follow Ayo that night. At the same time, Tunde's father, Chief Onifade, had received word from one of his traders that a scandal was brewing, one that could destroy their family's standing in the village. He too sent men to follow his son. Under the light of a blood-red moon, Ayo and Tunde met for the final time, planning to leave for good. But as they reached the outskirts of the village, they were ambushed, both families converging on them. The confrontation was fierce, with accusations flying, voices raised, and the threat of violence thick in the air. As Tunde's father raised his spear to strike at Ayo, a sudden gust of wind blew through the trees, and the masked figures of the Egungun appeared, silent, watching. The air grew cold as the spirits of the ancestors made their presence known. The elders, terrified of what was happening, fell to their knees, begging for mercy. It was said that the ancestors rarely interfered in the affairs of the living, but this time they had come to pass judgment. As the masked figures circled Ayo and Tunde, the wind carried their voices, low, rumbling, like distant thunder. The verdict was clear. The feud between the Adebayos and the Onifads was an affront to the ancestors. Their love, though forbidden, was a test, a chance to break the cycle of hatred. But the price of ignoring that lesson was high. As the families watched in horror, Ayo and Tunde collapsed in each other's arms, their bodies lifeless. The spirits had claimed them as a sacrifice, ensuring that the love that had threatened the village's fragile peace would never be fulfilled. From that night on, the village was haunted by the memory of the two lovers. The stream where they had met ran dry, and no one dared to speak of what had happened. The Adebayos and the Onifades, once the most powerful families in Oke-Ile, faded into obscurity. Their influence and wealth diminished. But the story of Ayo and Tunde's forbidden love and the judgment of the ancestors was never forgotten. It became a cautionary tale, whispered from generation to generation, a reminder that love, when it defies the boundaries of tradition, can awaken forces far beyond our control. The story of Ayo and Tunde is a powerful reminder of the dangers of deep-rooted feuds and blind loyalty to tradition. Love, in its purest form, should be a force that unites, not divides. When we allow hatred and old grudges to dictate our lives, we risk losing not just our happiness, but the very essence of our humanity. The tragedy of Ayo and Tunde teaches us that sometimes breaking the chains of the past is the only way to build a better future. If you enjoyed this story, and want to hear more captivating African tales, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, African Tales by Kwaku and Aqua. Let us know what you think in the comments. What would you have done in Ayo and Tunde's place? Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful stories from the heart of Africa. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Together, we can keep these stories alive.